pageantry for the president. Lisa Brady, Fox News. President Trump and the First Lady being treated to a state dinner at Windsor Castle after spending the day with King Charles.
We have celebrated together, mourned together, and stood together in the best and worst of times.
The king and his toast also noting next year's 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. President Trump says the term special relationship doesn't do it justice, calling the bond of kinship, and identity between the two nations irreplaceable and unbreakable.
On behalf of all Americans, I offer a toast to one of the great friendships, to two great countries, and to His Majesty King Charles III, a very, very special man and also a very, very special queen.
The president calling the historic second state visit one of the highest honors of his life. Tomorrow, he'll turn to politics in a meeting with Britain's prime minister. The vice president visiting Michigan.
It's great to be here. And
families and American businesses, tax cuts on Social Security, overtime and tips. He says putting more money in people's pockets.
that is what we promised to do, and that is what we're doing every single day.
The DNC in a statement say the vice president is doubling down on a disastrous economic agenda.
Fox's Jeff Manasso. Vance also condemning political violence and urging young people to continue Charlie Kirk's work. Just getting word of a shooting involving police in southern Pennsylvania near the Maryland border. At least 2 people seriously injured with a shelter-in-place order issued as a precaution in one local school district. No confirmation yet on what happened. There are reports of officers injured and the Pennsylvania governor heading to the scene. America is listening to Fox News. A Massachusetts teen accused of plotting a school shooting is out on bail, and some local parents are upset.
Ian Fotheringham.
Hey, I'm Trey Gowdy, host of the Trey Gowdy podcast. I hope you will join me every Tuesday and Thursday as we navigate life together and hopefully find ourselves a little bit better on the other side.
Listen and follow now at foxnewspodcast.com.
Is now on house arrest by a judge's order after being accused of planning a mass shooting at an elementary school in Falmouth. Authorities say Fotheringham had photos of the Columbine shooting on his phone and had access to a 3D printer capable of printing a gun. The teen's attorney claims Fotheringham was at home when a suspect was first reported near the school. Falmouth parents say they're concerned the suspect is out on bail. The superintendent's office says officers will be at elementary schools for at least the next 2 weeks for extra protection. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
Students returning to class at Utah Valley University a week after conservative activist Charlie Kirk was shot and killed on campus, where money's being raised for a permanent tribute.
Utah State Senator Dan McKay pushing for a memorial to be erected on the campus in Kirk's honor. Students reflecting on the idea.
Everywhere you go around the campus, it's just not going to be the same because everyone's just going to start thinking about the tragedy that happened.
Sophomore Dan Landigan speaking with Salt Lake City's Fox 13 News.
I think it would only be right to have a memorial here where he was assassinated.
Fellow sophomore Haley Landigan. State Senator McKay launching a fundraiser for the memorial on the site Give, Send, Go, raising nearly $80,000.
Fox's Kristen Goodwin. Fed Chair Jerome Powell defending Fed policy.
I feel like our policy has been doing the right thing so far this year. I think we were right to wait and see how tariffs and inflation and the labor market evolved.
Now, with signs of a softening labor market, the Fed makes its first rate cut of the year, a 1/4 point reduction. New board member Stephen Myron on leave from a White House economic post wanted a 1/2 point cut. On Wall Street, the Dow finishing up 260 points, the S&P and the NASDAQ ending in the red. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News.
I'm Janice Dean. Join me every Sunday as I focus on stories of hope and people who are truly rays of sunshine in their community and across the world.
Listen and follow now at foxnewspodcast.com. Fox Sports Update.
Cal Raleigh is having a season for the ages. The Mariners slugger hit his 55th home run of the season against the Royals, breaking Mickey Mantle's record for homers by a switch hitter.
Fly ball, right field, foul pole. It is fair and gone. Number 55, Cal Raleigh.
That was courtesy of Root Sports as Raleigh went on to homer again in the 4th inning, and he has now tied the Seattle franchise record set by Ken Griffey Jr. The Mariners defeated the Royals 12-5, and Seattle has won 10 straight. Elsewhere in baseball, the Mets entered a 3-game series with the Padres losing 8 of the last 9, but the Mets put the game out of reach early.
And now Beatty cracks one to deep right field. Tatis goes back. It's out of here. A 2-run bomb from Brett Beatty, and it's 5-0 New York in the opening inning.
Sound courtesy of SNY as Brett Beatty hit one of 4 Mets home runs in the game, and New York beat San Diego 8-3. Despite really struggling in the second half, the Mets are just 23-30 since the All-Star break. New York is still the final wild-card team in the National League. In the NFL, the Bengals placed quarterback Joe Burrow on the injured reserve Tuesday, while signing Sean Clifford and Mike White to their practice squad. Cincinnati head coach Zach Taylor confirmed on Monday that Burrow will need surgery on his injured left toe, and he's expected to be out a minimum of 3 months, according to multiple reports. Jake Browning will start in Burrow's absence, with the team 2-0 for the first time since 2018. And one day after head coach Kevin O'Connell said quarterback J.J. McCarthy will likely miss time due to a high ankle sprain, another Viking star has been sidelined. According to multiple reports, running back Aaron Jones was placed on injured reserve due to a hamstring injury. For more scores, stories, and features, go to foxsports.com. I'm Joe Morgan.
Get more on the Fox Sports app and foxsports.com. Listen to the all-new Bret Baier podcast featuring Common Ground, in-depth talks with lawmakers from opposite sides of the aisle, along with all your Bret Baier favorites like his all-star panel and much more. Available now at foxnewspodcasts.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
That's the longest bush. Yeah, I got this. Let's go.
All right, boys, let's go.
All right, boys, ready? 3, 2, 1, bush.
In a few moments, I'll sign a historic executive order to ban men from competing in women's sports. It's about time. My administration will not stand by and watch men beat and batter female athletes. From now on, women's sports will be only for women. In recent years, the radical left has waged an all-out campaign to erase the very concept of biological sex and replace it with a militant transgender ideology. We're honored to be joined today by many incredible advocates for women's sports, including the brave swimmer at the forefront of this battle. And Riley Gaines is a person that I've been watching. With my action this afternoon, we're putting every school receiving taxpayer dollars on notice that if you let men take over women's sports teams or invade your locker rooms, you will be investigated for violations of Title IX and risk your federal funding. There will be no federal funding. With this executive order, the war on women's sports is over. We are restoring sanity and common sense, defending the rights and safety and pride of the American people, including our great, great, great female athletes.
As the day unfolds with laughter and cheer, Brad's got the magic that brings us all near. Sharing tales of hope, dreams that shine bright. Good morning, Marianas, together we ignite. So join the palm trees, we dance through the days. The rhythm and soul in so many ways. Together we rise through the moments we share. Good morning, Marianas, feel the love everywhere. Wake up to the sunshine in the morning light. Good vibes all around, everything feels right. Brad on the show, bringing joy to our day. Into the Marianas breeze, let the worries drift away. Yeah, that was the air. Connection grows stronger. We show that we care. Rock on to feel the soulful flow. Look right on in Mariana, that's where you belong. The sweet island breeze and the ocean's embrace. Brad's got the stories, sunlight replace. Outside meditated, fall in this ride. Yeah, we're shining with love as our guide. So raise your voices high, let the music play on. Good morning, Marianas, we're where you belong.
Oh my goodness. Can you believe it's Thursday already? It's hard to believe, but you gotta believe it. You don't have a choice. That's how it works, people. At first it goes with Monday, then Tuesday, then Wednesday, and then Thursday. And today is Thursday. Good morning, everybody. It is 7:47 in the morning, and man, with all those highlights, the commercials, the blues, the blahs, the blues. I mean, there's so much going on this morning. I want to say good morning to you and welcome to another edition of Good Morning Marianas. It is your Thursday edition today. And man, what a day that we have on tap. We're going to be hustling again today. We're all over the place in Saipan today. Today we're going to have and this afternoon, we're going to have another show with Advocacy Amplified. We've got the 13th Fisherman's ceremony later today. It's just going to be a big one all the way around. And if it keeps raining, we're never going to have another baseball game. My goodness, what happened yesterday? It was wild to have that much rain. It started off like a real nice day. It was hot and sunny when we were over there at GTC for their ribbon cutting for the opening of the new modular classrooms. And the kids were having a great time. The parents were having a great time. The teachers, the administrators. It was just great all the way around. So what the heck happened? Then all of a sudden the clouds started rolling in, and we saw them too. And we're like, no way, you see all these clouds to the south? It was just like Landon was talking about. We were watching the video. He was showing how these things were moving in from the south, and we looked off to the south. I saw all those clouds. I'm like, holy smokes, you really think that's going to make it up here Fun fact, yes, it definitely made its way up here, and we definitely caught all of it yesterday. Hey, I just got this caught on that. Anyway, but that's what ended up happening yesterday. So no baseball, no anything. You know what they did do, though? They did knock out the final run for Ron Snyder over at SIS, Saipan International School. He's one of the founders of Run Saipan. Him and Ed Dela Cruz got together and made that thing happen. So yesterday they did a little fun run 5K for him. If you finish before him, you get a medal. If you finish after him, well, no medal. And they also cleared house, got rid of a bunch of old shirts that they had been hanging on to people from Run Saipan and storing over there at the headquarters for at least a couple of years. There was a lot of stuff. Anyway, it was great to see it. It was great to be there for him. We'll be posting that story later today. And, just what a nice end to an era for Ron Snyder. His name is Dr. Ron, but he should be Dr. Run for all the running he's done and the races that he's done all over the place, whether organizing them here or going off island and participating. He's done so much. It's been amazing. In fact, you'll get your last chance to see him this weekend at the cross-country event that's happening up at Bonsai Cliff. That's going to be the start and finish for the PSS cross-country division. Cross-country races for high school, middle school, elementary school. And then after that is the SIS Saipan International School Gecko 5000. So you'll be able to see him. He'll be there for it because he's been helping to organize the cross-country races as well. He was there last week with the folks from Run Saipan, and he'll be there again this weekend. So it's your last chance to get a run in with him if that was your plan. And because last night, I'm telling you, last night it was cold. Cold. Like, turn on the heater in your car. Cold. Turn on the heated seats if you got them. Cold. Put a little chimney inside your car and start a log fire. It was that cold in Saipan. These guys in the mainland are like, what are you talking about? I'm not telling you, it was cold. I did not have a rain jacket with me. And I wish I had a winter jacket with me. It was cold. I'm telling you, it was cold. How cold was it? It was cold. That's it. The answer is that it was cold. You know where else it's cold? It's cold inside the air conditioning on the Transit CNMI buses. But let's go take a look at traffic. Want to see what's going on out there on the mean streets of Saipan today. Here we go. Let's take a look. It is looking pretty good so far. In fact, it's that time when people are trying to get their kids to school and get to work at the same time. And right now you can see people are really having a hard time getting through the intersection over there at Shell Dandan, and between Shell Dandan and NMC. It is a slow go faux show. You might as well go to Mango 6, grab yourself a cup of coffee, let all the traffic go by. And then if you're trying to get to the home of the Canaries, it is slow over there too. You need your own. You wish you were a real Canary so you could fly to school. Yeah, exactly. He said, I'm watching at YouTube, waiting for a call for a car. I'm telling you, I'll tell you all about YouTube here in a second. But anyhow, that's what's going on for this is the second day in a row. I need to just fix this thing because I totally forgot about it. All right, anyway, get back to it. Home of the Canaries, elementary school, it is definitely slow over there by Akidza Drive. Going around the rest of the Back Island Road, Issa Drive is looking mighty fine. All the way around. It only slows down on Middle Road when you get over there by the pickleball courts. What? Yeah, the tennis courts, the pickleball courts, same courts. Over there at that intersection by NMHC, it's a little bit slow, especially if you are going north. But then as you make your way through Garapan and beyond south on Middle Road and Beach Road, it looks pretty good. Even now as we get closer and closer to Quartermaster Road, where it's a little bit slow for folks who are heading south on Beach Road and north on Middle Road. We're going to get all the way down. Slows down a little bit by McDonald's. People trying to get in there, get their coffee and their McBreakfast. Over by the intersection that matters at the place where connections matter, IT&E. A little bit slow for folks coming from the Chalakidza side and for coming down the Middle Road side. And if you're over there by the old AK, there's a little bit of traffic. It's not that bad. It's slow all the way back to Modern Stationery. How about Modern Office Supply and Stationery? Let's make our way down Beach Road. Over there by Hopwood, it is slow. Parents dropping their kids off for their education. The home of the Hilly Tie, going out and enjoying their modular classrooms that GTC is just getting for the first time now. And that's pretty cool. Well, I'll tell you what, though, you want to know what's going on with traffic. This is the place to do it. It's the only one that's going to give you the real up-to-date, everywhere at the same time kind of traffic. We're not sitting at the corner watching all the cars go by. We are telling you what's going on. But you know what? That's not even an issue for you. If you really want, you could just hop on the Blue Line with Transit CNMI, and you can find out all about them by going to their website, transit.cnmi.gov. But you're able to go online and check out all those stops that they have on the Blue Line. It's a great spot. It's the Blue Line, and they are all over the place. It's pretty cool. The only thing is right now you can't actually see the live stream of where the bus is, but the good news is that the buses are out there and they can take you anywhere you need to go, and it's a good deal. Anywhere you need to go on the Blue Line, and they can get you there for $2 one way. Make no change. You got to bring exact change if you're hopping on the Blue Line. That's the deal. And if you are a student, a Monamco, a veteran, an active duty military, or if you've got a disability, you only pay half. That's right, $1. Get you anywhere the Blue Line goes. That's a pretty sweet deal. And you want to find out more information, you can give them a call at 236-2682, 236-2682 on the Blue Line. And by the way, if you got a bike, they could take you. You got a wheelchair, they could take you. You got a dog, you might be out of luck. But they've got just about everything else. It's pretty cool. Air conditioned, clean, comfortable. It is the Blue Line. You know what else they have? Free Wi-Fi. So you can just kind of check out whatever you want to check out on your phone. You can watch the NMI News Service. You can watch our show. You can do it because they're operating 6:30 in the morning to 8:30 p.m. Monday through Friday. Weekends and holidays, 6:30 in the morning to 8 p.m. So you got to give those guys a little bit of a break too. 236-2682. That is the number for the Blue Line, taking care of the Marianas. And, you know, they do such a great job. And it's not just something that we talk about here about what a great job that they're doing. They're doing such a great job that they won a nationwide award for how great that they're doing. You gotta love it. And like out of the whole United States, they won the small rural transit service of the whole country. So they're doing a great job. You got to give them some love. You see anybody who works over at COTA, give them a high five, give them a heads up, and then say, hey, Fan, give me some tickets. Oh, here we go. Look at this. Fabian Indalacio. Great to see you this morning. He's like, hey, Brad, we need to promote health, fitness, and diet. We need to inspire people or some level of education on this topic. I agree with you 200% on that, Fabian. 200% I agree with you. And between you and Ed Probst dropping some LBs, and he dropped a bunch of waist sizes and all that stuff too. We were just talking about it. He made this big post about it on Facebook, and he talked about like what he was cutting out and all that other stuff. Fabian is not just cutting out bad stuff. He's also incorporating exercise. Because of you turkeys, I started doing it. Really this week. That doesn't mean I'm hitting it like 6 days a week right off the bat and going crazy. No, I'm not. I'm trying to avoid getting that whole burnout, feel awful, and all that stuff right at the beginning. So, but here's what I have started. I have started just thinking about what I'm eating and consuming. True story. I'm actually paying attention to it. So everything's not perfect yet, but one of the things I'm doing, we'll see how this thing works out, is when I'm hungry now during the day, I usually just go eat because, I'm so busy. I'm at the studio all the time, so that's what I'm doing. I'm running out, grabbing something to eat. And where am I doing? Am I enjoying it? No. Am I taking care of myself? No. Am I, doing any of that self-care? No, none of it. I just come right back here and do more work, and that's it. It's not like I'm working in the coal mines, but that is what I've been doing for the past year and a half, trying to get this little train chugging, right? And it was easier at first because we were so far ahead of what everybody was doing with the news and everything. So as a one-man band, you could really get a lot done. Now, the world is catching up. They are starting to do the same stuff, so it takes a lot more work and then makes me have to be in here and figure out new ways to do stuff to bring it to you guys. So I've been doing that. But anyway, it was impressed upon me, and through some health stuff too, like I need to do something, can't mess around. And so that's what I'm doing, Fabian. So got into the gym a couple times already this week, and cardio, and getting back to the weights, which is something I needed to do. And it's oh man, weight training is so great. If you guys don't lift weights and you're all cardio, that's cool. At least you're doing something. But the feeling I get after like working out and hitting the weights, it feels great. I mean, it might not feel great in the moment all the time, especially like when you get to the higher number of reps and all that lactic acid builds up, you get that burn thing going on. But when you get that swole feeling, it was hypertrophy. Man, it's awesome. It's such a good feeling, and I'm looking forward. I'm doing it the right amount because I'm ready to go back today, and not going crazy. So yesterday, Fabian, sticking on this, I did all that, and then when I was hungry, when I would have just grabbed lunch, and this is not a starve yourself thing, mind you, it's a mindset thing about like going to work out, then getting something to eat. So after I was done, Gus Latulamar, Gus, what's up? Good to see, hope you're out there. You're probably in Hawaii again. You're there all the time. Anyway, he brought back some protein from Hawaii that we tried yesterday at Laddie Built. And just 2 scoops of that with some water, shook it up. Man, this was great stuff. I don't know if they're going to start selling it there. I'm telling you, that's the thing to get. That's totally worth it. And anyway, that protein drink was, that carried me through. Excuse me. It carried me through all the way till dinner. And again, it's not starving yourself. I'm not advocating for any of that kind of stuff. But to be fair, I packed on a few LBs since I started doing this stuff. And I've got plenty of calories to live off of for a while. So I'm okay. Don't worry. All right, get back to it. Yeah, man. Hey, Fabian, I'm telling you, you're doing it. Hey, he says it's an automatic habit. It takes time to break it. Yeah, I know. That's where we're going with it. So that's why I got to try to break that, because that was it. I've spent too many times going for something too fast to eat, so I can just get right back here to do more work. Sit here, fill your face while you're sitting there doing work. And, it's definitely taken a toll on me physically. It has definitely taken a toll on me. So your dedication to your nutrition and to your fitness has been a spot of inspiration for me, my veteran brother. So I am starting that now too. I'm not going to do a whole blog about the whole thing. You know what I mean? I'm not going to make a whole fitness channel or any of that stuff. Because this is not about that. This is about I just need to do it. And what I missed about being regularly focused on working out before, though, is that I didn't care about anything else. It was just I was in the gym just focusing on what I was doing. I wasn't there to, BS with people, have a conversation or hang out or sit back and look at look at your phone or any of this. No, it was just about going in there, knowing what the exercise was that you were going to do and just knocking it out. Right now, though, until I get ramped up to that point, until when I think I can afford that much time, what I'm doing is going in, hitting some cardio, hitting some weights, hit the sauna, hit the shower, and then get out. Right, that's it. And then that proper nutrition afterwards, getting that protein stuff afterwards to make sure that you refuel yourself. That's where I'm going. He's like, sometimes it feels uncomfortable to talk about diet, but we have to keep fighting. Man, I know. I'm totally on that. And you, man, when I see these pictures of the breakfast that Fabian eats, they're great. We got this avocado tree, and if I could just have some avocados and some eggs, maybe a little sausage or something, or some potatoes or something like that, that's a money breakfast for me. Oh, man, that sounds like what I want right now, actually. I could totally go for some eggs potatoes and avocado right now. Oh, man. Just sounds like magic. Magic, I say. But we'll get there. We'll get there. I just don't want to get all preachy about it. That's the trap when you're doing all those kind of things, is the trap. And by the way, speaking of, the health stuff and everything, can anybody tell me or verify this? Has Joe 10 started something? I remember years ago being excited when they asked for my ID, probably about 10 years ago, at Joe 10 when I was buying some beer. And I'm like, woo, they're asking for my ID. Yeah. I knew that I found out that was their policy, but I'm like, she's checking to make sure I'm 21. I'm like, we're taking a selfie, lady. Ready? Pow, let's do it. And then, but it was pretty funny. Now, Joe 10, I don't know if they've started this across the board, but I had the same question asked at 2 separate Joe 10s by 2 different people. And the verbiage was the same. Do you have any Joe 10 discount? Now, if that's the case, that's pretty cool. But if that's their polite way of saying, you look old enough for a Monamco discount, son of a bitch. Okay. I told Kathy about it yesterday. When I came home, she's like, oh, she started laughing. Oh, my Monamco. I don't know. I'm getting there. I'm not officially there. But if that's the question they ask to soft pedal, do you qualify for the Monamco discount? That's a tough one. I'll take it. I'll take the discount, but I'm not there yet. I will say it hurt a little bit. Just a little bit. That's okay. I'll take it. Because they changed the Monamco discount to 35. So, I mean, they must think I'm 35. That's not true. They didn't change it to 35. But it was something. It was something, and it does happen. Hey, I want to go in and check you guys before we start getting to some stuff. Fabian, great to see you this morning. Thanks for tuning in. Tobot saying he's also doing a little tint yoga. That's the man. Feeling Zetmo, great to see you, man. You're a great dude, and watching all the way from Guam. Love to see you in here. Connie Park Baza in the house. Good morning. Thanks for joining us today. Now, who else do we got in here? Frank Rasa is in the house. Great to see you. Mariano Iglesias, my man. Thank you for tuning in this morning. That dude is making the CNY a beautiful place. JJ7, 1 day away from the weekend, dude. You're almost there. You're almost there. It's Thursday. Luta, good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Arlene, good morning. Thanks for joining us. It's great to see you again today. Caleb, great to see you too. He said, hey, good morning, PHI. PHI, I'm telling you that, when I was at Laddie Built yesterday, there was this young woman who was buying the legendary food stuff that we had yesterday, because they sell them over there at Laddie Built as well, and you can get a discount if you're, it's a better price over there. And so she got the same cinnamon roll one that I got yesterday, the one that has no sugar, 5 grams of net carbs, and was it 20 grams of protein? And I told her, I'm like, hey, that was the best of all the ones that we tried. And there's a lot of them. That was the best. Luisa Cabrera, good morning. Got to take a little bit of a break off of baseball last night, I presume, after all that rain coming down. And maybe that's why I got this little frog in my throat right now. Good morning, PJ. Great to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Awesome. Excuse me. We'll flip around a little bit. You know what I don't get to see right now is who's over there on the Good Morning Marianas page. People were on there yesterday that I didn't get to check out. So let's go see that real quick. I'm just going to fly over. Don't mind me as I get over to Good Morning. Because if you're over there and you're commenting and stuff, because I looked at it yesterday afterwards, and Fred was there. Not Fred, Frank from Guam. Saying hi, and I didn't get to see you, so thanks for tuning in yesterday, Frank. It was great to see you. Let's see, let me open it up. Anyway, oh, man, all these guys in the house from these different agencies. Great to see you guys, too. Biba Mariners, my goodness. Are the Mariners doing good this year? Excuse me. I'll tell you what, this cough is terrible. I woke up with, this is terrible. All right. Agoshiman says, hey, my height's 5'10", 300 pounds, then dropped to 298 while in the mainland. A doctor suggested bring it down to 165 for your height, but just took my weight just to be shocked when I was told 64.1 kilos. Wow. I asked to be more specific. He said 140 pounds. I started to buy some protein at PHI for $5. Yeah. Wow. Holy cow. What a great reduction. Congratulations. That is amazing. From 300 down to 140. Well done. Congratulations as I screw up the lighting for the camera. Wow, that is outstanding. Wow. Man, that is, so I've lost weight before, and I know how difficult it is, at least at the beginning too. And then throughout the process, a lot of it was saying no to food at people's houses or gatherings. It's so awkward here to say no to food, right? Am I alone in this one? Because I feel like you're insulting them. You know, like, no, that's not for me. Oh, I'm better than you. My food is, the quality of food that I consume is better than the quality of food that you consume. Yeah, that's kind of how it feels when I tell people no. So I like to say yes. And it adds up. That's the problem. Like yesterday, leaving GTC, they had all this food in their classroom for the grand opening. And they had all these donuts that looked good. I didn't take them, but they did look good. And they had sandwiches. And I should have taken a couple because they have the half sandwiches individually bagged. So if I would have just taken 2, that would have been like a whole sandwich. But so it was a half of a tuna sandwich, which I still think is the best sandwich in Saipan. And over the years, I have changed which tuna sandwiches are the best tuna sandwiches. And I think I have a new one again. I'm past, I think. I know I have a new favorite tuna sandwich. Hoffaday Deli from Joten. You know what it is? It's the lettuce. They put the lettuce in there. It's fresh lettuce in it. I like a good tuna sandwich that also has the slice of cucumber, maybe sprinkle on a little pepper, right? But that lettuce, and they do it on wheat bread too. Oh man. And it's not too expensive. I mean, it's not cheap, but it's better for you than like if you go and get yourself some greasy something or other. But I love it. That's my favorite tuna sandwich. All those little $2, $2.50 sandwiches, that's a good price, right? But the one from Hoffaday Deli, that is now my favorite tuna sandwich. It's true. Going to Fabian, he says, hey, you have to mention that it's the doctor's order monitoring your high blood pressure. They usually understand. No, man, that's talking about the movement. That's great stuff. Oh, you got a call coming in from Guam. Hold on one second. Hofdade's NT Road. Thanks for calling the show. Who's this?
This is Piling.
Piling, do you have a new phone?
Yeah. Good. Oh, no. It's my son.
Oh, your son's phone.
Yeah. I'm charging my phone because it's too hot. It's too hot and sexy right now. You need to recharge it. Yeah. But anyway, man, I'm calling in regards with the help from our brother Fabian in the rescue.
Yeah.
I had a physical checkup, overall checkup. They're trying to overhaul my body. I got a checkup this last Saturday, and I lost like 7 pounds.
Wow!
Because of Fabian in the rescue.
Get out!
He got me started, but there's like a problem losing weight. Because now my wife is restricting me from going places. Yeah. I mean, I'm looking like my younger days, fit, everything is fit. So now I'm denied to exit the house. Yeah. but thanks to Fabian and to people like you, spreading the word. Yeah, we need to somehow get back with our good health. We need to change that. We need to change that, and we need to promote it. And thanks for Fabian with his kangkong and all his delicious menus. I made a difference. I followed him, and I lost 7 pounds.
Man.
7 pounds. Jesus. From 187 and then 180, and then I'm still looking forward to summer weight going down. But I'm praying next my wife will allow me to just exit the house. It's only one love for me, and that's her. So she not worry. She's not worry. Yeah. But I love you guys. I love you guys, and stay hot and sexy. Stay hot and sexy.
Hey,
that's the goal. Yeah.
It is the goal.
Look at Fabian. Yeah. Look at Fabian. Every time we see Fabian now, woo! Wow, boy, you're looking hot.
Hey, look, if you look at his name, Fabian, it's got ab right in it. That's what he's doing now. He's all fit.
But hey, just be careful out there when you lose weight. Don't not be careful with somebody else. Be careful with your wife. Okay, guys? Be careful and follow the rules. Remember, yeah, till death do us part. Don't let the wife make you dead right away.
Hey, Piling, we're going to be in Guam. We're going to be in Guam for that Tower for Humanity.
Okay.
We'll give you a heads up.
Guarantee. I'm gonna take you. We'll meet up.
Yeah,
we'll meet up there.
We got to have you on the show. You got to come in person on the show.
Right on. I'll be there. I promise you.
Awesome. That'll be great.
Yeah, I'll be there. I love you guys, and stay healthy. Okay, but respect thy wife. Respect thy wife.
Guaranteed.
Have a good day, Brad.
All right, you too, Piling. Thanks for calling. All right, that's our buddy Piling Gazetmo out of Guam. Calling from his son's phone. I don't have that number saved over on this show phone. So it caught me off guard. I'm like, who is this guy from Guam that's calling? Anyway, great to have you on the show today as we're talking. Oh, geez, we got another call coming in already. Hold on. Let's go right to it. Let's find out who we got. Holidays Ontario, thanks for calling the show. Who's this?
Good morning, Brad. This is Ray, Brad.
Hey, Ray. Good morning.
How are you?
Hey.
You look like you're losing a lot of weight from running around from all the challenges in cinema.
Man, I'll tell you, I'm doing a lot of that kind of running around for sure.
Yeah, Brad. On another note, I just wanted to, bring up about the Elan lease in Markby, right?
Yeah.
I think the Senate had made a really prudent decision in terms of not approving the lease, because with Coral Ocean Point, when Elan signed that contract or that lease, there were conditions on the lease agreement that they were going to build 2,000 extra rooms.
2,000?
And they have yet to fulfill that agreement. So I think that's a good decision. And Brad, monopoly is not healthy for the economy.
Mm-hmm.
And we can't continue to put all our eggs in one basket, because in the event that corporation or that company collapse, we're all going to collapse. And I strongly believe that diversity is very critical in our internal economy. And I need to really continue to, encourage the legislature to revisit all the laws that's hampering all these small businesses and come up with some incentives to subsidize CUC, and those are many of the challenges that many of the small businesses are having problems with. And I think if you really when you look at your capital and you start, pulling out your passive income from your pocket, then that's not smart business, and eventually you're gonna have to close your own business. But going back to for a lot of NMDs, I just wanted to share this with them, that the creation of Marianas Public Land Trust under the covenant, it is created to assist the government in revenues. And that's the whole point of MPOT. It is a lot of misconstrued that all the money that's been generated with public land or with Department of Public Land and MPOT was to disperse to NMD, but that's not the case. Mm-hmm. So we just have to put that to rest until such time that the United States Congress and CNMI convey and amend the covenant, then that will be another story. So just to arrow that to many of our NMD, because many of them are misled. And through my research and reading the article, the covenant and with the conditions and provisions clause of the covenant, we are not entitled for those incomes. So that's all I wanted to say and share that, so that people who are NMD only benefits from Department of Public Land, from homestead, village homestead, and agricultural homestead. So those are the benefits, but not with MPOT. But anyway, I just wanted to throw a shout out to Secretary of Department of Public Land for initiating that action or a moratorium for fishing bays. And it is really an urgent to really take actions, because I do witness and I concur his concerns of liability, and I thank him for taking that step to really make sure that the Department of Public Land is not liable for any injuries or accidents.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I'll tell you what I think. It's like twofold, that thing with the fishing bays. It seems like it's the safety, because you could see, especially like the southern edge of it has really come in quite a bit, right? And then it's kind of spotty on the right side where you can see it's eating away underneath. It's just a matter of time before some of that caves in on itself, and that's pretty clear. But I think the bigger piece of it is. And what the secretary said, and he keyed on, is like, hey, if people are going to be using public lands for their business, they've got to pay. And
that's right. That's right. That's right. And they got away for many years. And I think the actions of the secretary really put a stamp that if in the event that you do plan to use public land, for all fairness, for all businesses, that you must pay your share.
Hey,
go ahead. And even with commercial, and I was just trying to share that any business activity there could be marine sports or commercial fishing. They should pay some sort of fee, unless you're just recreational. Then of course that is something to be considered, but any business activity on public land must have a consent or approval or TOA from Department of Public Lands.
That makes a really good point. So when I was talking with the secretary, he didn't have everything, because we were walking around on the out there on the Garapan Pier, and what he was saying is that that there should be a certain percentage and all that. They have it. He just didn't have it on the top of his head, like what that would work out to be.
I know the regulations, because I reviewed the regulations and I amended some of the regulations. But anyhow, aside from that, that is part of the regulations that any business activity must get TOA for any sort of concessions or for that matter.
That makes sense. Makes complete sense. So the question I got for you is, you're an NMD, right?
So what?
You're NMD, right?
Of course I am. I'm a Chamorro. I'm a hybrid Chamorro.
The best kind. So I was going to ask you, as an NMD, from your perspective, two questions. One, should it be like? Do you think it should the fee should be like per site, or should it be like if you're going to be using, like if you're in the business of like the marine sports or something, like if you're operating on the beach, should you be paying for like that beach spot, and then if you're going to be launching, pay another fee for that launch spot, or should it just be like, could you pay like one annual fee based on your percentage for the use of public land spaces in that one, not using something different like inland and all that other stuff, but could there be one?
Well, there's two types of payment, right? There is a lease payment paid to DPL, and there's a BGR payment for tax and revenue, which is, I believe, they get 2% out of that BGRT. So, you know, I understand that the business situation here in the CNMI, but, you know, it's constitutional mandate. It's not an option.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a constitutional mandate that any business activities on public lands must generate revenue for Northern Marianas descent. And that's how we get all these fundings through homestead programs for NMDs. We use those funds to, you know, to assist NMDs for their village homestead or agriculture for that matter. But going back to MPLT, you know, it's stated in the covenant is to assist the government. And I think that's why the government I don't agree 100% for the fact that they are sucking MPLT dry.
Right.
Because we don't want to experience the same consequences with the retirement program. And I think, you know, legislature needs to work closely with CEDA to really build up their investment portfolio and work with them to really assist CDA from engaging with investors to come here. And I think CNMI is a very unique territory because we are exempt from so many taxes, such as federal tax, trade, you know, the trade tax, tariff tax. In fact, Saipan CNMI has also the qualifying certificate for investors to minimize to cushion their investment. So as far as CNMI, I think we're pro-business. You know, it's just that we don't have the commodity or resources as far as tourism and population to really bring in such as Walmart, Kmart, and different franchises to establish here in the CNMI. Because, you know, a lot of the mega business, they look at population and geographical locations.
Oh yeah, if one of those came in, they put everybody out of business. Hey, I have one more question about it. Again, from it's great perspective from you as an NMD and who's familiar with this. You know, we talk about the businesses using public lands and paying the fees that they're to use them. But what about a business that's owned and operated by NMDs? Should they be paying for that also?
You know, that's a legal question, Brad, that needs to be entertained at courts or come up with a Supreme Court's decision. Because for all fairness, you pay taxes; everybody should be equal.
Mm-hmm.
But it's something that we needs to revisit, where Department of Public Land reserve or make it a reservation for NMDs to engage business activity on such land strictly for NMD. But that could be challenged in court. But it's allowable. It just needs to refine and redefine the reservation. I'll give you an example. Indian reservation, right?
Mm-hmm.
They have their own reservation, and they're the only people that create business, build casino, whatever. Not and those are very needs to be creative with our leaders to really look into that. If we really want our NMDs to become sole proprietors, then we need to create something that's feasible and affordable for NMD, because they continue to claim that NMD owns public land. So we should be given that example, given that privilege to engage into becoming a business-minded individual. So, I think, Brad, until such time CUC address their I don't know what's the terminology to use for CUC, because I don't know, even you as a business person, I'm pretty sure every time you look at your electric bill, right,
mm-hmm.
you contemplate whether should you continue or close your business.
Yeah, when I look
And
at
that's
my
very tough.
CUC, it makes me need to go to CHCC.
And I think that's a lot of habit where when we receive our CUC bill, we kind of pick, slowly open the bill just to see what's the surprise.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but anyway, that's just we really, really need to allow CDA to really give them 100% support, and that's their job. That is their responsibility to bring in investors. And and here's the thing, Brad.
Mm-hmm.
If cinema are arguing or fighting to disperse the budget of 178 or whatever, look at Guam. Imagine Guam. Their budget for next year is 1.3 billion.
I know. My goodness.
That's 1.3 billion. That's how much the garment industry was generating revenue in the cinema back in the 80s.
Wow.
But then, that's a big gap between cinema and Guam.
Massive. And then you get the shipping benefit too, because when we had the garment factory, we were sending ships out full of stuff. So,
Correct.
So everything was better.
Yeah, correct. Because, they import textile and then they export goods and commodities from here. So it balances out the fee. But now you import container. There's nothing going on with the container, but you still have to pay the rate.
Yep.
That's very, very tough. And I admire the Chinese community where they come together and they break the cost of the container to be returned.
Yep. Every time.
Yeah, every time. They became very creative on how to minimize the cost of doing business here in the cinema.
By the way, I looked up real quick. I'm like 2,000 rooms of that thing about Coral Ocean. So I'm just looking up. This is a story from the Variety from last year in November, and it says Suaso plans to invest $30 million in renovations of existing structures and new improvements on the premises, including those that were damaged by typhoons. They include the construction of 100 rooms and 100 villas.
I'm not too sure if it's 2,000 room or 200 room. I know it's 200 or 2,000. I don't know which one is which.
Yeah,
but I know they are. That's part of their lease agreement.
Yeah, it's a tough one, right? So about that one, just getting back to it, it is a tough one because, how do you put all your eggs in one basket, right? I mean, they've got Coral Ocean Point, PIC, and Kensington, and they all look better than they did when they first came in. So I know that they've done a lot of great stuff with it. But right now, they're going through some serious financial things too with tourists and all that. So do you want to put the fourth one with them? And is there a value in giving it to them because now they have such a big stake in what happens in Saipan that they are going to have to spend more money on marketing for the islands? Do we get that extra benefit if they got that lease? The other one is, though, it's sad what's happened with that place, right? With Marianas Resort. It's a beautiful place. All those villas that are there. You've got the hotel itself. Man, that spa that used to be in the back was almost like a destination away from the Marianas, in the Marianas. And then the golf course, the pool, the baseball field, like all of it is just rotting away.
And I think Sinamay needs to. I think for my personal perspective, I kind of regret the Japanese left Sinamay, and that's the same impact for businesses that are monopolized. Look at Japanese tourism when all this businesses or Japanese businesses exit Sinamay, tourists weren't coming because the philosophy of Japanese to continue to strengthen their economy is to return back their capital, right? So you do business, you come, your tourists come to Sinamay, they spend in your business, it goes back to Japan. That's their philosophy of business. And look at one point, Japan dominated the economy because of that type of discipline. So Japanese philosophy is to keep their money within their own country. And that's just smart economy.
I was listening to some of the people who are a little more activist-y and stuff like that. And like Sheila Babauta, she's one of them. And she was talking about, we don't need another hotel. Why don't we just return this public land into a cultural site? And you know what? I think both might work. I don't know how to do this in the smart way. I don't know who the investor would be. But if it was, like you just based on what you were just talking about, the Japanese set up to have that and bring the money back to Japan. But what if it's a locally owned hotel / a resort that does also have a heavy focus on the culture? The whole thing is like a cultural thing. But so when you're flying to the CNMI and you're staying at that resort that's owned and operated here locally, all of the things that happen at the property are really heavy on the local culture. Some of the language used, the signage, and the people that are there, the performances that are there, and the events that they would have there. I feel like there's a good mix in that, where that keeps the money locally and celebrates the culture.
Oh, that's just disciplined economic. So, and I think, when you look at the truth, and I think the last generation that really practice our culture or still engage in our culture, tradition, and customs is our generations that were born in the 60s. When you look at this generation now, I sad to say, but they're losing the tradition and culture and custom because even in their home house, they don't practice the culture. So that culture is slowly degrading. But, going back during the Torres administration, at one point there was ARPA funds or whatever funds that was appropriated to build the cultural center in Civic Center. I really don't know what happened because there are still over 100 millions of capital improvements still lingering, waiting for Sinamay to disperse those projects. So in order for the economy to move, CIP fundings need to move as fast as possible so we can generate revenue.
Yeah.
So there's no point of having $1 million and it's not infusing income or revenue to the economy. I know the regulations of federal are very restrictive, And that's one of the challenges. When you write grants, it's like sometimes you wait a year of continued dialogue to meet all requirements before they draw down the funds. But Office of Grant Management are tasked to monitor those. However, I don't know what's the setback. And EDA, the what do you call that? The Mario Iglesias division or the agency, they are tasked to handle EDA projects. So if we really want to rebound in terms of the economy, the federal funds must be quickly dispersed to infuse funds or revenue to the cinema economy. That's $100 million. Cinema can collect maybe 25, 30 to 40 millions of new revenues. But I'm not the elected leader, so.
Hey, you could be. You could be.
No, Brad, I enjoy my privacy. So at my age, I want my own privacy. When you have your peace in your life, that is wealth.
Oh.
I used to be very active in our community, not paying attention to myself because I was so engaged with the community to develop so many programs. But, we pass the torch to the younger generation to carry on.
Hey, there's some guys that I bumped into who might be in the same area. They have passed the torch as well, but they golf regularly, and they definitely eat food, and they make sure they hydrate after their golf. And
Brad, it's so funny because a lot of my great friends that are former athletes continue to encourage. In fact, even my awesome coach continued to encourage me to play golf. And I said to him, how can I hit that ball 50 yards and I have to go look for it? And then when you lose money, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, that excitement part is the competition, and yet you still get to go home with $500 in your pocket. But,
wow.
But that's a risk you take, right?
Hey, I'll tell you, those guys who I was just talking about, I bumped into them. This was after the tsunami. Remember that whole tsunami thing?
Correct.
Went across the street to Oleai to have a couple beverages with Gary Sword. And they were talking about, let's do it. Can we drink? I'm like, yeah. So now, and then I bumped into them a couple of weeks ago. They were over at Johnny's. They're like, we're gonna do it. So they're gonna come in. They haven't done the planning or any of that. They're gonna do a show where they're gonna come in. It won't be this background, but if you've seen any of the other shows that we produce here, they're gonna be in the studio in the back, and they're gonna do their show to talk about the issues and all that. I
think Brad, you should have a sports podcast for your program and bring in the legends and talk stories about back in the 70s, the 60s, the 80s, and to do comparison with this competition or the competition of sports. And I'll tell you, man, back in the 80s, my time was in the 80s. Man, there are a lot of great players that understood basketball. You know the saying, do you play basketball? Do you play basketball or you're a basketball player?
Yeah.
It's two different concept, right?
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, but I was going to share something with you, but I just lost my train of thoughts. But
you're talking about the sports podcast, and your time was in the 80s.
Yeah, and bring Tony to tour, bring Tony, Rugolo Foy. In fact, Kurt Barnes was here, I believe 2 weeks ago. That guy knows cinema sports.
Oh, yeah.
He's been here and he has witnessed it. And I think he was one of the founder of the Micronesian Games Olympic.
Yeah,
so,
and he wrote a book, Legends of Micronesia, I think is what it was called.
Correct.
And I got it. I've got it. It's at my house. It's still in the plastic.
I know his book. I know his book needs some revisions because there are newly come elite players that made an impact in the region. So
yeah,
So
I love
anyway.
this. That's a great idea.
Yeah. It's sports build leadership, build teamwork, build strength, build character. That's the meaning, or that's the benefit of being a part of a sport. So, and I remember back in the days, I used to laugh. I say, man, you used to hit us around the court, hit us hard. I say, hey, if you can't handle contact sports, then go play tennis.
Yeah.
No, I just being sarcastic, but in any organized sports or team sports, a lot of things happen, and there's no bad intention.
Yeah, man. I'll tell you, it's such a great idea, Ray. Look for it though. Like Nick Sablon, he's one of those guys.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's nice for the youth generation to see those great or legends that started or built sports in the Sinamay. Because at one point, baseball was just a sport here in Saipan. And it evolved to soccer and then basketball. Now we're seeing badminton. So those are new sports in the Sinamay.
Yeah,
badminton and frisbee and all kinds of sports.
I think,
and it's good. And I think I like to make a shout out to Jerry Tan.
Yep.
Jerry Tan has been phenomenal, dedicating his time and his resources to allow our new generation to travel to different countries to compete. And he has done an exceptional job.
The power of the Tan Holdings Corporation, what they're doing, they are really funding the whole Oleai track and field facility, the whole sports complex. They're really
that's
funding
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, and we need to give him a lot of credit. To really foot the bills at Suzuki complexes, and very, very humble. Not tapping government resources, but I'm pretty sure there's some tax breaks that are given to the Tan Holding. But yeah, and like I said, there were honoraries of legends that they named those fields on behalf of their contribution. And I think that's what Namasa needs to do. Like Ada Jim should put up the name as Gilbert Ada Jim. The baseball field as Tungkol Baseball Field. And of course the softball, Tangi Basa Palanginan. And they should respect that, and they should put that up. You know? And I know Navy Hill Baseball Field is named after Tony Benavente, one of the baseball legends.
Yes.
And those are very crucial for the history of Sinamay that made a big impact in our sports community.
Man, I know Tony was a legend. I didn't know they named that field after him. That should definitely be a sign up there at Navy Hill Field.
Well, Ton deserve it. I mean, he's one of the best baseball pitcher that I could remember. Yeah, every now and then I'll stop by the baseball field and watch him pitch. And I remember one night he struck I think 20 players in one game.
Struck him out?
Yeah.
Whoa, 20.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not too sure. I'm not saying, maybe I might be wrong with the numbers, but I know it was a lot. It was a big number. It was a number hard to achieve in one game.
Yeah, 20 is a number hard to achieve. That's for sure.
I'm not too sure 20. I don't pay attention with baseball, and I know it was something to that extent. I know it was like one example, Ed Santos, one of the best pitcher, Well, Khaled, a Palawan guy, one of the best pitchers. So, I'm not very knowledgeable or the best of the best, but those names pop up every now and then. But there were the great pitchers back then. Tony Sator was one of the best softball pitcher.
I saw him pitch when when I first got here, like 23 years ago. Man, the amount of heat that he threw with that underhand, just whew.
Yeah. He's an amazing pitcher. Not too sure where he's getting his strength, but he's an amazing what he does with that ball.
Yeah.
But, it's something to consider. Let's collaborate with sports and continue to encourage our students or our children to get involved with sports. It's probably one of the best decisions they ever made.
I love it. Bob Coldine, I think he told me he has a strikeout record for.
Well, I'm not too sure. I mean, Bob Coldine is probably 15 years older than me, so I'm not too sure. But Bob Coldine is a reliable information too. You can get a lot of information from Bob. Bob pretty much I'm pretty sure. Unfortunately, one of the individual that took documentary of the basketball community was former Mayor Frank Diaz.
Really?
The Diaz family, the dad, he has been documenting, and I don't know where his archives are stored, but he has been a part of the sports arena for basketball arena for many, many years. And a lot of his sons are basketball players.
Is that
and they're great basketball players.
Like Ed and Tone Diaz,
Correct.
That's their dad?
All of them are basketball players.
Wow.
Yeah, and they're great basketball players. I think the oldest one is John Diaz. He was a dominant player back in the 80s.
Wow.
Not too sure why all these players are not in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Somebody in the massa is not doing their homework. Bob, when I came up, I was the one who came up with that idea to create Hall of Fame in the cinema.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Wow.
back in the 90s. It was my idea.
No kidding.
And the massa, yeah. In fact, we have a resolution, Hall of Fame strictly for basketball players.
Wow.
So the massa, in fact, Jeff Reyes approached me and he didn't want to, disrespect me. And I say, hey, by all means, if our players can make it to the professional, this is the best way to honor our elite players.
That's great. I've seen those presentations for their Hall of Fame inductions when they do it like for the Athlete of the Year and all that stuff. But when they have the Hall of Fame, and again, that's part of Jerry Tan's stuff too now with Namasa, right?
Namasa needs to do a better job.
Yeah.
You can't wait until it's time to induct Hall of Famers and then you go out there and you start searching names.
Mm-hmm.
You got to have a committee to do those research back in the 60s. Because I know a lot of great players back in the days before my time. And they're still not in there. Like I always say, don't mix politics with sports.
Mm-hmm.
You can mix that formula. So whoever's in charge of the Hall of Fame of Namasa got to do a better job. Because you don't want to raise eyebrows in the community when the fans they know who are the best players in the cinema. And that's one thing I told Jeff Reyes. Don't politicize Hall of Fame because you would lose the integrity of that Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can't be putting your friend in because you drink beer at Johnny's and you're gonna make him a Hall of Famer.
Yep.
That's not right. We have to have integrity when it comes to that kind of honorary. Whether I like you or don't like you, but if you deserve to be in there, I'll put you in there because you earned it.
100%.
Yeah. I just don't want them to tarnish the whole point of this honorary recognition. I'm talking because I started that, and this is how Guam, different Micronesia and the region started the Hall of Fame through Sinamay, from Sinamay, because we initiated that. So if you say who started Hall of Fame in the Pacific, Sinamay.
Man, I wonder if because right now it's a Hall of Fame kind of like name only, right? We don't have an actual facility, but it would be great, with the plans that they have for improving the Oleai Sports Complex. They're talking about the pool, the pitching area, the bullpen. They've got to redo the softball.
Actually, Brad, when we started, unfortunately, I wasn't really a part of the initial adoption of the Hall of Fame with Namaste because I was off island. But the whole point was to make a banner and hang those banners inside at the gym. So when those children come to watch basketball, they can look up and see who are these elite players.
What a great idea.
And in fact, I was even looking forward when they said they were going to create the cultural center.
Uh-huh.
I said, man, that probably would be one of the best place to hang those banners or whatever plaque or whatever, and bring the students in, and because a lot of our students in public school, private, are athletes, right?
Yeah.
We know Michael Jordan more than Tony Satur. Why?
True.
Right? Mm-hmm. Why are we so concerned about the world athletes that we never met in our life? So we should honor our own elite players with distinction and honor.
Completely agree. I love that idea. I love that idea.
Yeah. So I just wanted to say this, whoever's in charge of the Namasa Hall of Fame committee got to do a better job, because there are people in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Their name needs to be in there. Brad, I always say to myself, I will not join Hall of Fame until those elite players before me make it to the Hall of Fame. So if I'm going to die without being honored, it's fine with me, because I started that Hall of Fame, and that's not the intent of Hall of Fame. I wanted to see those people before me to be inducted. It's disgrace. It's a disgrace for somebody that's still alive and made it to the Hall of Fame, while those people that are made an impact in the 80s, 70s, their name is not honored. That's a disgrace for me.
Yeah, they say even in the U.S. sports, they have that recency bias, right? So they need to have someone that goes back, like for all, like the Hall of Fames in the mainland, they have a what do they call it? They have different committees that get past, like, not just the people from the last 25 years or the past 30 years.
Bob, Brad, who are the best resources for Namasa to utilize their knowledge?
Mm-hmm.
In sport, in baseball, you got Bob Codin,
mm-hmm.
Barnes, an athlete. You got Mike White, who knows basketball. So those are the people they should be engaging with, to bring them in and share with them, and so that they can be transparent and be honest. Who really deserves to be in the Hall of Fame? That's just my take on it. And I will never, like I always tell basketball board, I will never be inducted until such time those elite players before me are inducted. I will never, even if I have to boycott it. I would never join the Hall of Fame. I would not rest until those people are honored. That's my take on that. That's my honest opinion. I'm not rushing. I don't deserve to be there. Before I won, you got Alvin Pua, you got John Wabo in basketball, you got John Diaz, you got Tony Binaventi, man, you got Diego Oggun, Diego Abtang. Man, those guys are amazing. I got to witness. I was a dominant force, but I have a lot of respect to some certain players because I know how competitive they are. So that's just my take on that.
Well, that's great.
I mean, I'm just being humble, and that's just how I feel. Whether I accept it or not, that's how I feel. I will never join Hall of Fame until those players are recognized. Then I'll go in, if I'm still alive.
Well, you still got plenty of time, and maybe they need to just reach out to you to help form a committee like that.
I'm giving them after the people that they need to get a hold of. They know history. I mean, I can only remember from the mid '80s up to this time, but prior to that. But I've heard the name. And when people talk about these people, there's credibility.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's all I'm saying. And I don't mean to offend nobody, but they just need to do it right. We don't want to tarnish such a prestigious award.
Yeah, I don't know who they got for this year, but I saw what they did for last year. And speaking of doing it right, I got to take a break. I've got do it right by my sponsors.
Give
them some commercials.
I don't know. We kind of just went off guard and.
Hey, it's a great conversation. This was great.
Yeah. And I've always wished that we have a sports podcast and bring in those great players and talk about their life in sports and aside from real life, but interesting stories.
Well, who knows? Maybe we can make that happen. I know we can. Right now, I just got to figure out how we can fit one extra thing into this schedule right now. I got
no. It's just something I suggest. No, so it's important to share that for our new generation to get a glimpse how the sports evolve in cinema.
Let's make it happen, Ray. I'll send you a message after we take a break. But let's make it happen. Let's figure it out. You got to help me with some of the names of folks who you think we should get, and then we can make that happen.
Yeah, why not? I mean, I got a lot of respect for Mike White, Bob Codin, Tony Sator. You got Tony Regolofoy, who knows history of the sport. You have a lot of resources you can tap on.
Yeah. Well, let's do it. I'm going to send you a message after.
Great. Awesome. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, too. Have a great day.
Right,
Thanks for calling today.
Hey, no problem. Thank you.
All right. Take care. All right. Well, that was Ray giving us a call, talking a lot about sports. We talked about everything. Went from public lands and businesses and taxes, and then all the way up to that land leases. Really good stuff. We talked a lot, and I kept it going too. If you guys, it was like we had a co-host in here today. But I really love it. I love the conversation, and I love the end of this that we just had about the about the sports show with talking about some of the legends and all that. I love that idea. I think it's wonderful. And I think we'd be better off for it. All right, we're going to take a real quick break. We'll get you guys some other updates here in just a second. But let's start with speaking of sports, let's talk about some.
Fox Sports Update.
The Rams will have a hobbled head coach on the sidelines. While speaking on the Coach McVay show, Sean McVay revealed that he tore his plantar fascia in a win over the Titans on Sunday.
Good news is I'm not playing, so I'm just on the sidelines watching. So if I have a little cool limp to add some swag, then you'll know why.
That was courtesy of the Rams. The plantar fascia is a thick band of tissue that runs across the bottom of each foot. McVay did not say whether he would need to be in a walking boot when the Rams take on the Eagles in Week 3. Staying in the NFL, the Bengals placed quarterback Joe Burrow on the injured reserve today while signing Sean Clifford and Mike White to their practice squad. Cincinnati head coach Zach Taylor confirmed on Monday that Burrow will undergo surgery on his injured left toe. He's expected to be out a minimum of 3 months, and according to multiple reports, Jake Browning will start in Burrow's absence, with the team 2-0 for the first time since 2018. Though the Bengals have a tough stretch ahead, Cincinnati's next 5 opponents all made the playoffs last season. Heading over to college football, the Clemson Tigers are in a bad spot. Clemson is 1-2 and out of the top 25 after starting off the year as the 4th-ranked team in the country. But head coach Dabo Swinney hasn't lost any of his fire.
If they want me gone, if they tired of winning, they can send me on the way, because that's all we've done is win. So if they tired of winning, we've won this league 8 out of the last 10 years.
That was courtesy of Clemson Athletics. The Tigers lost their season opener to LSU before falling to an unranked Georgia Tech team over the weekend. In 13 of the last 14 years, Clemson has won at least 10 games and took home 2 national championships. Last year, the Tigers were blown out by Georgia to start the season and lost to South Carolina to end the regular season before winning the ACC title and earning a berth in the college football playoff. And you can download the Fox Sports Podcast on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you download your favorite podcasts. I'm Joe Morgan.
Get more on the Fox Sports app and foxsports.com. Listen to the all-new Brett Baier podcast featuring Common Ground, in-depth talks with lawmakers from opposite sides of the aisle, along with all your Brett Baier favorites like his all-star panel and much more. Available now at foxnewspodcasts.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
Celebrating close ties. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. President Trump and King Charles toast the U.S.-UK alliance at a state dinner hosted by the king.
Sitting in the center of a table about half the length of a football field inside Windsor Castle, President Trump paid tribute to his host.
The lion-hearted people of this kingdom defeated Napoleon, unleashed the Industrial Revolution, destroyed slavery, and defended civilization in the darkest days of fascism and communism.
King Charles III noted a shared language and heritage.
These successes of the British Redcoats and of George Washington's Continental Army today stand shoulder to shoulder, brothers and sisters in arms.
President Trump is the first American president to be hosted at 2 state dinners in Great Britain, invited during his first term.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. Washington County, Utah Sheriff Nate Brooksby says Tyler Robinson, the suspect in the murder of conservative activist Charlie Kirk, was afraid of being shot by police and had suicidal thoughts after the shooting.
The parents convinced him not to do that and conveyed that they would, stand by him and help him surrender peacefully.
Robinson was turned in by his father. He faces aggravated murder and other charges and could get the death penalty if convicted. Multiple police officers seriously hurt after a police-involved shooting in the southern part of Pennsylvania near the Maryland border. York Hospital says it's treating 2 people. Governor Josh Shapiro said to be rushing to the area. A not unexpected move by the Federal Reserve.
The Federal Open Market Committee decided to lower our policy interest rate by a 0.25 percentage point.
Chair Jerome Powell, after the decision from the Fed, stocks remained near record levels. The Dow added 260, the Nasdaq minus 72. America's listening to Fox News.
I'm Janice Dean. Join me every Sunday as I focus on stories of hope and people who are truly rays of sunshine in their community and across the world.
Listen and follow now at foxnewspodcast.com.
The Department of Education says the Virginia School District violated Title IX in its handling of a locker room incident.
The violation finding against Loudoun County Public Schools stems from an incident earlier this year when several male students were recorded in a locker room, questioning why another student who identifies as male but presents as female was in there with them. The student who was being questioned recorded the interaction. After sexual harassment complaints to the school, 2 of the teen boys who were recorded were suspended. Title IX is a federal civil rights law that prohibits sex discrimination in any education program that receives federal funding. The Education Department says the school district violated Title IX when it took the female students' claims seriously, but not the male students. Tanya J. Powers, Fox News.
After 47 years, Ben & Jerry's co-founder Jerry Greenfield is leaving the company. He says the freedom the company used to have to speak up on social issues has been stifled. Co-founder Ben Cohen posted Jerry's message on X. Ben & Jerry's is now owned by Unilever. It says it will be forever grateful to Greenfield for his contributions, but is not aligned with his viewpoint. A community advisory committee for New York City's Times Square has rejected a proposal to put a casino there.
The casino proposal failed to move forward, getting only 2 of 4 votes needed to take the next step. The push for the Times Square casino is backed by, among others, Rock Nation, run by hip-hop star Jay-Z. Tony Simone represents Midtown Manhattan in the New York State Assembly. He said his no vote came from what constituents told him.
Over 1,000 emails and phone calls saying they did not want this to be the economic driver in our district.
Supporters argued the gaming component would bring new life to Times Square. A separate committee also voted down a casino proposal for the Hudson Yards area on New York City's west side.
Fox's Gernal Scott. I'm Lisa Lacera. This is Fox News.
This is Jimmy Fallon, inviting you to join me for Fox Across America, where we'll discuss every single one of the Democrats' dumb ideas. Just kidding. It's only a 3-hour show. Listen live at noon Eastern or get the podcast at foxacrossamerica.com.
If you see something, say something. And stay anonymous. Call Crime Stoppers at 234-7272 or submit a tip online at nmicrimestoppers.com. No names, no caller ID, no recordings, just your info. And if your tip leads to an arrest, you could earn up to $1,000 in cash. Your tips have helped take hundreds of criminals off the streets in the NMI. It works because of you. Crime Stoppers, we want your information, not your name. PHI is your local pharmacy serving customers in Cagman, Garapan, and Dandan since 1996. Shop PHI Pharmacy for all your prescriptions, and we even offer a large line of multivitamin supplements. Our Dandan location is open weekdays from 8 to 6 and 8 to 4 on weekends. Or visit our Garapan and Cagman locations weekdays from 8 to 6 and 8 to 1 on Saturdays. Check us out online at phipharmacy.com or follow us on Facebook. PHI is a locally owned independent community Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
All right, boys, you guys ready to see who got the longest bush?
Yeah, I got this. Let's go.
All right, boys, let's go.
All right, boys, ready? 3, 2, 1, bush!
Wake up, sunshine, it's a brand new day. Brad's got the stories that'll light your way. With a smile on his face, he's ready to share. Good morning, Marianas. Feel the love in the air. Good morning, Marianas. Come join the fun. Together we'll shine like the morning sun.
With the waves crashing in, hear the oceans call. Brad brings the news that connects us all. From the islands to the world, those kind of wish. Good morning, Marianas, the best time of year.
Good morning, Marianas. Let's start the day. With laughter and stories, come what may.
All right, welcome back, Marianas. It is 9:15 on Thursday. It is September 18th as we are rolling through this week, getting closer to the end. And we're going to give you another real quick look at traffic right now because it is a lot nicer out there on the roads now that all the kids are in school. Well, the kids who are going to school, not the skippers. But hey, it's not too bad out there at all. All the traffic looking mighty nice. It's a little bit busy over there by NMC at the light, but that's not too bad. People just taking a look at that beautiful building, man. It just keeps looking nicer and nicer. I like it. I get drawn in every time I take a look at it. All the way down to Monsignor Martinez. Looking easy, even all the way down to Chalumpiao. Take a look at Beach Road, moving up past our place, all the way down at the intersection that matters. There's a couple of cars that are held up over there by IT&E, probably because they want to take a look at the latest phones that they've got over there as well. But they're looking pretty good. Beach Road and Middle Road side by side, pretty sweet. Some folks heading north on Middle Road, going to be hung up at the light over there at Gualo Rye, but it's not too bad anywhere else. In fact, I'm surprised that there's not a traffic already starting to build up at Ina's Kitchen, man, because their lunch special is amazing. All around East Drive looking pretty good. I can't complain at all. If you're out there on the road, the only place where you're going to have anything going on is over by NMC, and that's not too bad at all. And you can't complain about that. I'll tell you what you can't complain about, only paying $2 to get anywhere you need to go when you're on the blue line with Transit CNMI. That is what you pay, but you pay half if you're a veteran, an active duty military, if you're a student, if you are Monamco, or if you have a disability. It's only $1. Just make sure you pay an exact change because they're not making change over there. Don't slap them a $2 bill if you only got to pay a $1 ticket. You can give them a call. Number is 236-2682. That's the number for Transit CNMI. And man, I'll tell you what, those buses are clean. They're beautiful. They are air conditioned. And you know what else? They are equipped with free Wi-Fi. That's right, everywhere you need to go. They're open Monday through Friday, 6:30 in the morning to 8:30 p.m. Take you all the way on the Blue Route. And on weekends and holidays, it's 6:30 in the morning to 8 p.m. They got to have a life too. Give them that extra half an hour, make it feel pretty good. Anyway, that's what's going on with Transit CNMI. They are an award-winning transit provider, and they are our transit provider. You can't beat it. We got the best one in the whole country. They got an award that says it. That's pretty amazing. And so a lot of thanks to those guys over at Transit CNMI. We walked through a lot of stuff today, and we got a lot of stuff to do. We've got a whole bunch of stories we need to put up for you guys, some editing that we've done, and we're going to post all these things today. And the other thing that's happening is that every time I'm doing it now, I'm adding this stuff to the website. So you guys are going to be able to take your first looks at it very, very soon. Now that I just need to get quicker at it, which I'm doing, and because I want to make sure that it's active and current all the time. All right, so I'm uploading all the old stuff and the current stuff, and that's it. We got to be fast and good and all that stuff. So that's my homework. Guys, thanks for tuning in today. We'll be back again today at 2 o'clock for Advocacy Amplified. That's going to be at 2 o'clock. You'll watch it right here on the NMI News Service. That's with NM Posse. Today's guests are going to be folks from the Project Buddy Check 670. That should be a lot of fun. So you'll be able to see all the veterans in here talking about the topics of the day with Tiava and Kobe. And then later, we'll be doing a live stream from the 13 Fishermen. There's a big ceremony going on over there today as well. Part of our Cultural Heritage Month. That is going to be... Hold on. Well, it doesn't say it on this calendar, but I know that it's happening. So, anyway, we're going to let you guys go. Have a great day. Thanks for joining us today. Love having you here. And we will be back again. So, have a great one, Marianas. We'll see you soon.